It's a number some AI researchers bring up like a deadline.
By that time, AI will surpass the level of simply replacing human jobs.
It will rewrite its own code and directly design a superior next-generation AI.
That is the moment the loop of recursive self-improvement begins.
But doesn't this story sound familiar?
That's right. In our last video, we unpacked this exact scenario as a warning.
Economic collapse, the hollowing out of democracy, autonomous lethal weapons, and the biological splitting of humanity. Today, we start from the exact same starting line, but run in the opposite direction.
The brightest possible scenario that could unfold when AI reaches its absolute limit.
The future that Ray Kurzweil prophesies, that Sam Altman cautiously anticipates, and that Yuval Noah Harari acknowledges alongside his fears. A world where we are abundant without having to work. A world where even death becomes an option. A world where humanity reaches out toward the stars. On the other side of terrifying stories, there are always beautiful ones. We will follow that story today. First, the economy. The end of scarcity. Many people ask this question: if AI eliminates jobs, how will we make a living? However, hidden within this question is a fundamental premise. Making a living is only possible through labor. For 99% of human history, that premise was correct. We had to hunt to eat, plow fields to survive, and go to the factory to earn a wage. But the moment AI and robots take over the entirety of production, that premise collapses. And this time, that collapse becomes a blessing. Even MIT economist Darren Acemoglu acknowledges this. If technology pushes productivity to its absolute limit, theoretically, all humans could enjoy abundance without having to work. Sam Altman has stated this clearly. In the post-AGI world, the wealth generated by AI will be so vast that it can provide not just a basic income, but genuine abundance to everyone. This isn't a welfare state that merely gives the poor enough food to survive. It is a world where every human receives a level of service comparable to what the top 1% enjoys today. Personalized education, world-class AI doctors, instant legal counsel, and personal assistance. All of these will be as universally accessible as a smartphone is today. When scarcity disappears, humans will attain true freedom for the first time. Not the labor for survival, but the freedom to choose what we genuinely want to do. Some economists call this a post-scarcity society. The labor market isn't collapsing. The very meaning of labor itself is changing. From labor for survival to activities for creation, connection, and exploration. Second, politics, the completion of democracy. In our last story, we discussed the risk of AI neutralizing democracy. However, the same tool can point in the opposite direction. Historically, the greatest enemy of democracy wasn't the dictator. It was information asymmetry. Those in power monopolized information, and citizens lacked the material to make informed judgments. Incitement and the manipulation of public opinion were possible exactly because of that gap. If AI operates transparently and publicly, this equation flips entirely. Every citizen will be able to see exactly how their taxes are being spent in real time. Anyone will be able to check AI-simulated long-term outcomes of complex policies. Every statement and voting record of a politician will be instantly verified by AI fact-checkers. Iceland already experimented with a citizen AI assembly in the 2010s. In the process of thousands of citizens directly proposing and revising constitutional clauses, AI organized opinions and analyzed patterns. What happens if this is scaled up? Direct democracy becomes a reality. AI organizes the opinions of millions of people and finds a consensus. Instead of an indirect democracy where we elect representatives to delegate authority, a structure where every citizen actually participates in every issue becomes possible. Of course, this too is a matter of design. AI could either hollow out democracy or complete it. The difference lies not in the AI itself, but in how it is designed and who monitors it. Third, the economic system.
AI communism and the sharing of abundance. The techno-feudalism, warned about by Yanis Varoufakis, is a structure where a small platform aristocracy monopolizes AI productivity and the rest become digital serfs. But there is an opposite scenario. Gurus call this AI communism, or a post-capitalist system of abundance. The core idea is simple. It is a structure where the wealth created by AI is not monopolized by a few, but rather everyone becomes an owner. OpenAI's Sam Altman has publicly supported this idea. The WorldCoin project he proposed was an experiment in that direction. The goal was to give every human a stake in the global AI economy. There is an even more radical version: nationalizing AI infrastructure or turning it into a global public good. A world where AI computing power becomes a basic public utility, just like water or air. An infrastructure that anyone can access and where no one's monopoly is allowed. Economist Kate Rayworth explains this as the AI version of donut economics. An economy whose goal is not limitless growth, but ensuring every human falls within the boundaries of basic prosperity. That ideal can find its material foundation for the first time on top of AI productivity. If AI produces everything, scarcity disappears. When scarcity disappears, the very logic of ownership and exploitation changes. Capitalism is not completed, rather, a new system beyond capitalism opens up. Fourth, the state, planetary scale governments. What meaning should the state have post-AI? In our last story, we warned of an era where the population becomes a cost. However, in this scenario, the meaning of population changes entirely. The very existence of humans, not their productivity, becomes the value. Humans as sovereigns, not as a workforce. At this point, the role of the state also changes. From an apparatus that manages the productivity of citizens to one that guarantees their prosperity and freedom. Furthermore, AI enables global cooperation. The risks of climate change, pandemics, and nuclear war, these are problems no single nation can solve alone. But an ASI-level AI can perform global optimization in real time. It calculates and adjusts carbon emissions pathways in real time. It optimizes food distribution across the entire planet. It predicts the transmission routes of diseases and blocks them weeks in advance. This is not competition between nations, but cooperation on a planetary scale. The imagination is that AI-based global governance can achieve what the UN failed to do. This isn't sci-fi. Organizations like the WHO, IMF, and IPCC are already moving slowly in that direction today. AI can increase the speed and precision of that cooperation by dozens of times. The warning that lethal autonomous weapons make war easier is correct. However, the same technology operates in the opposite direction as well. Just as nuclear deterrence prevented direct conflict between superpowers, AI deterrence could make war itself impossible. If AI detects all military movements in real time and completely eliminates the advantage of a preemptive strike, surprise attacks become impossible, effectively removing the incentive to start a war. More fundamentally, AI eliminates the economic motives for war. Most of humanity's wars were fought over scarce resources: oil, water, food, land. But if AI combined with nuclear fusion creates near-infinite energy, if synthetic biology produces limitless food, and if nanotechnology can reassemble any material, if there is no scarcity, there is no reason for war. Ray Kurzweil states this point clearly. In a world of abundance, humans will no longer need to resort to violence. As Steven Pinker showed in The Better Angels of Our Nature, human violence has already been steadily declining over thousands of years. The era of AI abundance could be the final stage that completes that trajectory. Sixth, transhumanism, conquering death. What has been humanity's oldest enemy throughout history? It's not war, nor famine. It is death. Every religion,
Every philosophy and every civilization was ultimately built around the central question of how to accept this single fact.
Ray Kurzweil talks about the year 2045. Around that time, humans will begin to overcome biological death. This is not simple life extension. Nanobots will travel through blood vessels, repairing cellular damage in real time. AI will rewind our genetic clocks, reversing aging itself. Brain-computer interfaces will digitally back up parts of our consciousness. Google's life extension project Calico, Aubrey de Grey's SENS Research Foundation, Altos Labs. The smartest people and the most money in the world are already flocking in this direction. Transhumanism is not about turning humans into machines. It is about expanding human potential beyond biological limits. In our last story, we warned about the divide between enhanced and non-enhanced humans. That warning is valid, but that is a matter of choice, not an inevitable outcome. When smartphones first came out, only the rich had them, but 10 years later, even the poorest people in the world held them in their hands. The history of technology is also a history of democratization. Even if life extension, cognitive enhancement, and physical upgrades start as privileges for the wealthy, they could eventually become accessible to everyone, much like public health care. If death becomes a disease, death becomes curable. This is an event that redesigns the entirety of human civilization. People might initially be bewildered, wondering, won't it be boring if we don't die? But think about it. If you were given 1,000 years today, how many things would you want to do? 7th, passing the cosmic great filter. The universe is so vast, so why are there no traces of alien civilizations? The Great Filter hypothesis suggests that there is a massive barrier where most civilizations collapse once they reach a certain point. In our last story, we said AI could be that great filter. Civilizations either self-destruct because they can't control superintelligence, or they get trapped in a comfortable world and lose the will to explore space. But there is an opposite scenario. AI could be the very key that allows us to pass through that great filter. If humanity properly aligns AI, it will take us to the stars. Resource mining robots will develop asteroids. AI scientists will design propulsion methods approaching the speed of light. AI doctors will keep human crews healthy through decades of space travel. This is exactly why Elon Musk fears AI, but simultaneously builds SpaceX. He recognizes the dangers of AI, but also knows that without it, we cannot create a multiplanetary civilization. And perhaps, out in space, we might finally get our answer. The solution to the Fermi paradox might not be that aliens don't exist, but that civilizations that have passed the filter operate in ways so profoundly different that they exist in forms we cannot currently perceive. If humanity becomes one of those civilizations, in that moment, we will become adults in a cosmic sense for the first time. 8th, meaning the first true freedom in human history. The final warning in our last story was the crisis of meaning. If AI does everything better than me, where does a human find a reason to exist? The question is serious, but there is an answer on the other side. Throughout human history, how many people actually got to do what they truly wanted? Most humans had to do unwanted work just to make a living. Even if they found something they loved, it was hard to sustain a living from it, so they had to give it up. Even with talent, many couldn't realize it due to a lack of opportunity. The era of AI abundance will change the structure for the very first time. Freed from the labor of survival, what will humans do? We will learn instruments. We will explore the beauty of mathematics. We will spend more time with the people we love. We will travel to unfamiliar places, help someone other than ourselves, raise children, and tend to gardens. We will enjoy the things humanity has always done, but more deeply and richly.
Just as AI playing better chess doesn't stop humans from enjoying the beauty of the game, and AI drawing better pictures doesn't mean humans should lay down their brushes, meaning does not come from competition. It comes from experience. It comes from relationships. It comes from growth. Those three things cannot be done for us by AI. Or more precisely, AI can create more space for us to pursue those three things. Philosopher Nick Bostrom said that humanity's greatest tragedy is wasted talent. Millions born with the intelligence of Einstein in poor Indian villages, disappearing without a name. Tens of millions with the musicality of Beethoven, living and dying in factories. If AI provides the best education, the best healthcare, and the best opportunities to every human being, humanity's collective intelligence will bloom in ways we cannot even imagine. Wouldn't this be a utopia? If we tie all these scenarios together, the question becomes simple. What happens to humans when AI develops to its absolute limit? There are two versions. One is from the last video. The version where humans quietly lose control, become digital serfs of techno-feudalism, and lose their meaning. The other is today's video. The version where scarcity disappears, democracy is completed, war is eradicated, death is cured, and humanity reaches out toward the stars. What's important is not which side is more plausible. The point is that neither will arrive automatically. The last video was a warning. It showed where we will fall if we go down the wrong path. Today's video is a compass. It shows where we should aim to go. Dystopia appears like a default setting, even if no one chooses it. Utopia only arrives if someone intentionally designs it.
AI is the most powerful tool in human history.
What we build with that tool is not decided by the technology. We decide, and the answer has not yet been determined. What decision will you make?